Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 6 Premium Pan-Asian Cruiser, Huang He. The characteristics are, it's a light cruiser with no smoke. It's basically a Perth or Leander, and you just forget to use your charges. And if you describe it as such, I would say that's not exactly compelling gameplay. That's very difficult, stressful gameplay, and that's exactly what it feels like. DD with a Citadel. It needs to lose that Citadel wargaming to really play in a competitive, interesting way. And I don't know that they're willing to do that. I don't know that they're willing to just take the Citadel out of the ship and make it play like an oversized DD, because that's what it feels like. It's got pretty good concealment, its guns are okay, it's got a little bit of torpedo systems, but that Citadel really ruins any plan to play it as an oversized DD. So you're basically retreating back to your max range, hoping that no one wants to go after you. Friendly just killed himself. It was a 2 versus 1. There was no reason to rush in and die like that. And it's really frustrating to see that, because those are trades that just should not occur. It should not have been a 1v1. It should have been, we kill the Atlanta and he survives, but it doesn't matter. I'm burning down. I'm 50% life already. So the loadout is exactly what you see. You can equip hydroacoustic and you can equip defensive fire. So it's kind of, they've swapped out smoke, the Brits, for defensive fire. Is that worth it? Absolutely not. The Brits had great AA protection, regardless of defensive fire existing or not, and they had the ability to hide in smoke, which is very necessary for something this lightly armored, and it has a Citadel. That's just a double whammy of devastation. You take a lot of damage, you absolutely get one shot. I've gotten one shot 2 or 3 times, and I've only played it a handful of times. It just is so uncomfortable to play. That's probably the best description for this ship. Uncomfortable. And I think, I speak for myself, but I think many people feel the same way. If I'm uncomfortable in something, I cannot perform up to the level I expect, because I'm always on edge. I'm always expecting the worst to occur, and usually that does occur. It's just frustrating, frustrating, frustrating. So the team has captured C and B. We're trying to capture A. The enemy is sort of split in their focus. I'm looking to try and use islands to line of sight so I can engage the targets. I notice that this Alba is showing a perfect broadside, so I'm going to fire off my HE, and then I'm going to switch to AP. Now the HE does okay damage. It sets the target on fire. It's got about 12% fire chance, so it's okay. Not the worst, not the best, somewhere in between. But I switched to AP, and it doesn't work as well as I expected, so I'm going to switch right back to HE. And the enemy's going to move off and do something else. It looks like maybe an enemy DD is capturing B point, and right now I really don't have anything to do. Nothing to do at all. Check the torpedoes. What's the range on the torpedoes? 8 kilometers. If the enemy happens to push into your ship, or maybe you have the opportunity to, I don't know, get an ambush on a target, your torpedo could be useful. It is only one set though, and that really sucks. That's basically what the French deal with all the time. Any of you who have played the French cruisers, you're not really hitting a lot of that stuff. Not at all. It feels like it's just too few of a torpedo system to really have it incorporated into most of your play. So that's just the unfortunate truth of a lot of a single launch side. It's just too inconsistent. But if you get in the good habit of sending early and often, it should work out in your favor. Theoretically. At some point, you'll get a hit, you'll get a strike, and you'll be happy. So I'm considering, do I want to send? No, they're too far away. Of course, dum-dum. Do I want to fire my gun and reveal myself? It seems like a very easy shot. Yeah, 5.3 rudder shift is awesome, but they only need 1 shell to disperse into the ship. and I'm really hesitant. So I was like, we'll try and fire just before the enemy is behind an island. Maybe we could set him on fire. Fantastic. And hopefully I can try and hide. Because that's what it feels like. Hide and seek in this ship. I really need to try and play the British around only using radar. Just to have an experience of what maybe the Pan-Asian cruisers might play like in the future. I don't know if this is the confirmed direction that the cruiser line will go. I just know that, God, this cruiser is really painful to play. Really painful. So the team has successfully captured B, the enemy team. I see the Hatsuharu, and the Hatsuharu kind of looks like he wants to go for that gap, that island gap just to the left. I have great line of sight. I'm going to try and relight that fire on the North Carolina, since it is not on him right now. Unfortunately, he's near my max range. What can I do? The Hatsuharu maybe going for the gap, so I'm going to go over there where my mouse cursor was for a split second. We're going to try and go for that island right in front of us, and hopefully he's too brazen. He's going to push forward and die. That was the plan. I hope it works. The enemy is definitely defending B point, and anyone caught out in the open is going to try not to die super fast, but they will absolutely die super fast. That's 4 or 5 ships, man. That's just too much. Too much firepower. So I'm just trying to weasel my way into a position, bait him through that gap, and hopefully enjoy massive success. But he's not coming. Does he take a long time to come? What are you doing? Hello? Hatsu? Hatsuharu? Okay, so it looks like he's not coming. We don't have an aircraft. I can't choose to use that and send it up. I'm hesitant to push forward too fast, too quick. And there we go. Friendlies spot out the Hatsuharu. He's moving forward towards B point. We've got a couple friendlies that are trying to take it, but there's also a couple enemies who are trying to stop them from taking it. So we lose a friendly Akatsuki, or Akatsuki, and the Hatsu is still rotating fast, but looks like friendly torpedoes, yeah. Friendly torpedoes, combination of damage done from the friendlies, takes out the target. Now, looking at the enemy, there are no destroyers left on their team alive. So I could potentially try and operate at a much closer range and manipulate the engagement as such. There's not going to be an ambush detection on me. The only time I'm going to be detected is if I make a mistake or choose to fire my gun. I chose to fire my gun here, hoping to set the target on fire. And we do. Friendlies might follow up. I, of course, slam it in the island. You got to make them know who's the boss. Every once in a while, those islands look at you funny, and they want to grab hold of you and not let you go. But we're not going to let that happen. At least not right now. And I really do feel like there is a potential to push forward and sit in an island position where only 1 or 2 can engage me. And yeah, friendly. Is this a cruiser? Yes, it's a cruiser. It's a very tiny cruiser, but it's a cruiser. And just keeping an eye on the enemy battleship behind me. Always important to know where your enemies are. Would love to set this guy on fire. Looks like he is going to run into a friendly on his team, which sucks for him, but it's cool for me. And the Queen taking a little bit of side shots. Friendly Nagato is taking a little bit of HE, and he's dead. We set a fire on the Queen Elizabeth, and then he's finished off by another Queen. So we're doing okay. I don't like how many ships are dead on both sides. And here comes the enemy fire, and just look at the kind of damage it sustains. Maybe 1 or 2 AP on the target, and we're already down to a 4th left. I'm on fire. I don't really want to put the fire out just because I know I'm going to have to put the fire out. Inevitably, I'm out in the open. And this is incredibly dangerous, but I wanted to try and make a play. I wanted to do something. The ship is just so awkward that I don't think I could ever be completely comfortable. Oh, God. Is that for real? 295 hit points left. And the enemy Mogami looks to try and rotate around the island. So I'm going to position myself where I am right up against the island. Right up against it. And hopefully bait them to come towards me. My teammates can follow up and do damage to them. But I feel completely vulnerable. Absolutely wide open. I don't have any real, honest solution for this problem. It's just not a good ship. It takes a lot of damage. It doesn't do a lot of damage. Alright. So we've got potentially... And I didn't mean to fire there. Oh, you know what I was doing? I was testing the adrenaline rush if I had it. So we've got a potential target that is rotating around. It looks like the King George. And the torpedo arc is really good. There's no issue there. This is my only torpedo on that side, though, so I'm going to try and back up. For anyone who's like, how did the camera change? Press C. It will move the camera to a position above either one of your guns. Now, if you have all your guns facing forward, well, it's going to stick there, but if you have one in the bow and one in the stern, well, guess what? It will move to that position. And oh, he's going to get me. God, he's going to get me. I tried to hide. I tried to feather that throttle. But we did successfully hit our torpedoes, which they do pretty good damage. These are not some weird deep water torpedo. No, no, no. None of that stuff exists on this ship. It's just a Perth without smoke. Instead of smoke, you've got defensive fire, and I wouldn't put any stock in that. It's okay, but smoke's way better. So, friendlies are going to try and finish off the game, complete the capture of A. We've got a friendly destroyer that is on the flank of the North Carolina. The North Carolina does appear to be looking towards the Hippers area. And I think the Mogami was behind the island. And in fact, he is, because the Hatsuharu would have detected him. And the Hatsuharu is very low. One shot away from dying, so he's got to be very careful. And he sent his torpedoes, which, you know, it looks like he'll hit 1, 2, maybe. The North Carolina is a fast ship, though. And he is rapidly moving out of the area. Okay, he's going to hit 1. Exactly mid-ship. And, yeah, got the friendly buy-in. Should be able to deal with this guy pretty easily, honestly. As long as he doesn't misplay. Misplay, yeah. Misplay. Okay. So, he should have his guns facing forward, which they are. Okay, good. He's firing what looks to be at the waterline. Unfortunately, the friendly Hatsuharu dies to the Mogami. Secondaries are opening up. He's got good angling. He should easily be able to avoid based on the location of the target. The North Carolina should be firing at the bow, though. His 406 has overpinned the bow. There's no reason for him to fire anywhere else. He should be doing at least 10,000 per salvo. But he seems to sometimes hit the gun. And I don't know how that's possible at 3-kilometer range. But my teammate is hitting the water at 3 kilometers. So, yeah. Anything's possible, right? But the secondaries are going off. He is winning the health battle. Barely. And he's able to heal a little bit, so that should help out. While all this is going on, though, the Mogami is still... And again, I think he just hit the water... Oh, God, just elevate the gun. Just do consistent damage. Just kill him. Mogami sent torpedoes, multiple torpedoes. Come on, kill him. He put out the fire right at the end. Oh, finally. Finally, it's over. Gosh, it's cool, it's whatever. It was made way more hard than it needed to be. And then we've got just the Mogami. He should be able to deal with this guy. No problem at all. Just needs to get that good German dispersion, right? We all have dealt with the German dispersion. And there we go. Friendly Hipper gets a Citadel or something and takes the target out. So that was the Huang He. It's really hard to play, very vulnerable to fire, and the reward is not very high. Pretty much the worst case scenario on a ship. It's just not going to give you what you're desiring, but we'll see if it gets any better the closer we get to launch. I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.